go to the grocery store, well, we see every kind of food imaginable. All different types of fruits and vegetables. No matter what time of the year it is, I can definitely get a tomato and I can get an orange. But what's really the best time of the year to eat these foods? Do foods, fruits, and vegetables actually have a season? What fruits and vegetables grow in New Jersey, and which ones can we not grow in New Jersey? Well, let's find out today in our lesson.
Hi everybody. So the last time I saw you guys, we were actually outside at the farm and we were talking about the different parts of a plant that we can eat. We took a tour with Farmer Sean and we found out that our salad was more than just leaves and that we could actually eat all different parts of the plant. Well, today it's a little different. First, I'm at home. And number two, if we look out the window, I'll kind of look out there. You guys might see it's doing something out there. What's it doing? So if I look outside, I'm gonna see it's actually snowing. So it's snowing and the seasons are starting to change. So it's not quite winter yet. It'll be winter on December 21st. That is the winter solstice and that's the first day of winter. But we're getting pretty close to winter. And so our seasons are changing. And I wanted to talk today about how what we eat and what grows can change as well. Because I know if I go to a grocery store today, wow, I'm gonna see every kind of food imaginable. I go to the grocery store and I go to the fruits and the vegetable section. Well, I can see any kind of fruit or any kind of vegetable I want. But back in the old days, it didn't look like that. In the olden days, there were not so many choices for us to have. But today, I can eat anything like jackfruit, coconuts, and papayas, and mangoes, and things that I probably would not find maybe 50 years ago. Because now all these foods can come to us by a truck, by a boat, even by a plane. And the fact that they're going to be on a boat or a plane means, well, maybe they're not as fresh as they could be. And New Jersey, even though it's snowing outside, there's still stuff growing at the farm. And today we're going to take a little trip to the farm and see what's growing at the urban farm. We're going to see some winter farmers markets and see that there's actually other farmers that are selling food this time of year. And we're all going to get a chance to look at, it's called the New Jersey Seasonality chart. And it actually shows when different fruits and vegetables are in season in New Jersey. When we eat with the seasons, well, we're actually getting a chance to get food when it's the freshest. We're also getting a chance to eat food when maybe it doesn't cost as much. And we're also getting a chance to have that food because it's more fresh. It's going to have more nutrition than it would if it were sitting on a truck or a boat or a plane for a very long period of time before it actually got to our dinner plate. So it's important to eat in the seasons. So I thought before we started today, we would do a quick review of what we learned last time. So last time we talked about the different parts of a plant that we can eat. So I'm going to show you some cards. Let's see if you know what part of the plant you're eating when you see them. So the first one is spinach. So when you're eating spinach, what part of the plant are you eating? And just to remind you, there were 6 different parts. There were roots, stems, there were leaves, flowers, fruit, and seeds. So which one do you think? If you said the leaves, you are correct for spinach. The next one is radishes. Remember, we're going to eat that red part at the bottom. So it would kind of look like this. In the ground, it grows in the ground, so a radish is a root. Oh, this was a tough one, but we did see this growing at the urban farm. When we eat broccoli, what part of the plant are we eating? If you said flowers, you are correct. So they call them broccoli florets because they're all little flowers. Oh, one of our summer favorites that I'm missing right now because it's not growing in the farm. How about tomatoes? When we eat tomatoes, we're actually eating fruits, right? They're a fruit. This is another one that grows at the urban farm, Swiss chard. So when I eat that Swiss chard, I'm actually eating this white part and I'm eating the greens. So you could actually say leaves and stem because I can eat all of that. Oh, how about celery? When I eat celery, so that also kind of grows like this right out of the ground. So when we harvest it, we cut it at the ground so the roots stay below ground. And it's actually the stem that you're eating. So when you eat celery, you're eating the stem. And I have one last one. Peas. So those little tiny round balls right here, when you eat those, you're actually eating a seed. And if you eat sugar snap peas, which I'm pretty sure I put that on our video last time, the sugar snap peas, I can eat the pod. The pod itself is considered a fruit. So when I'm eating peas, this is my fruit and these are my seeds. So just a quick review, and remember, when we eat fruits and vegetables, we're actually eating all different parts of a plant, not just the leaves. So even though the temperature is cool and cold here in the winter at the urban farm, well, we can use these high tunnels that are behind me to grow food all during the winter. So let's go see what we're doing inside there. So this is the place to be on the farm in the winter time. So I'm in one of the high tunnels we have here at the urban farm, and we can see that the sides are all closed up and it's nice and warm, and the plants even have coverings over them as well. So the plants are covered in these nice row covers, these blankets, and if we look underneath, well, there we're gonna see some things that are growing. And this is actually little baby spinach plants growing. Another one, if I look underneath, this one, hiding under there, we have some nice lettuce plants that are growing for the winter too. So I'm here inside another tunnel, and over here, we'll see some more beautiful lettuce. These are bigger lettuces. Keep them nice and covered. And over here, these big plants, these look like they're ready to harvest soon. If we look close, you start to see that red stuff down there. We have radishes, and we even have carrots growing in here as well. So we have one other high tunnel where we're growing food for the winter. And if we see what's under these blankets, well, I'm gonna find some of my curly kale. This is the stuff that look like the palm trees over the summertime. And some Swiss chard. And finally, under this blanket is something that, oh my gosh, I wanna eat right now. It is the most amazing spinach. So spinach, in the colder weather, this leaf is going to be really, really sweet. So all plants, like spinach or leafy greens, a plant's sole purpose in life is to basically grow a flower that has seeds so it can reproduce itself. When the temperatures are really cold and below freezing, well, that plant doesn't grow so much, but what happens is sugar is created, and sugar is the food that's created in all these plants through photosynthesis. And what happens is the wintertime, this spinach and other leafy greens are super sweet because the plant, instead of using all that sugar, which is its energy and food, to grow flowers and seeds, kind of holds on to it and makes it really, really sweet. So spinach in the wintertime is the best that you can possibly get. So I encourage you guys to go find this and other leafy greens at a local farmer's market in the wintertime because it is incredible and so good for you. So now that we've seen what it looks like at the farm in the winter and what we're still growing here at the urban farm, let's go see if we can check out some winter farmers markets and see what they're growing there. And hey guys, so even though it's wintertime, there are still farmers markets that are going on where we can get fresh produce in season. So maybe I'm not eating tomatoes right now, I'm not eating basil, but there's plenty of food to be found. We have potatoes, we have onions, kale, radishes, a lot of root vegetables grow this time of year. So let's go a little closer and see what our farms are selling in December. So in the winter, there's lots of squash, cabbage is still available, spinach and lettuce. We have turnips that are available, more greens like kale, radishes. Carrots are big in the winter time. Onions. There's all sorts of good veggies that we can get in the winter time. So it's great to eat in the season.
So now that we've seen what I can get at a winter farmer's market, let's see what we can find in the grocery store. And in the grocery store, I'm going to see that foods, they're going to label them as to where they came from. So on those fruits and vegetables, there's usually something on the label telling you exactly where it came from. It might say right there, product of Mexico. Here, product of USA. But these, I really like them because they show you exactly what state in the United States they came from. The best time of year to eat citrus like oranges and grapefruit and lemons and limes is right now. So they are actually in season because they're coming from Florida. Oranges grow all over the world, but when they're coming from Florida, that's the closest to us. They're fresher, they're going to taste better, and they cost less. So for the remainder of this lesson and video, we're going to actually look at the seasonality chart. But just so you know, I made this video before the school went virtual, so I did actually kind of start my instructions on paper, but then you will see me recording it from my computer. So for the next part, we're actually going to use our New Jersey seasonality chart, which you guys will have in your document. And this chart, that's kind of my own that I made up. It says when my favorite fruits and vegetables are in season in the garden state. So I'm going to use both of them together. Now, if you're doing this virtually, you can just do this on the computer. Oh, kitty, my kitty came to play. It figures as much. Come on, Rusty. But this chart, I want to show you how to use it. Okay. So for this chart, it basically shows me the foods, the fruits and vegetables that grow in New Jersey and when they grow. And just so you know, not every fruit and vegetable grows in New Jersey. And I kind of talked about that at the beginning of the video, that jackfruit and coconuts and pineapple, we can't get those in New Jersey. But I can get apples, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, cranberries, grapes, peaches or nectarines, pears, plums, strawberries. Those can grow in New Jersey. The temperature and the weather is good for them. And then there's a whole big list of vegetables. Now, if you can't read all these names, that's okay. And if you want to have a parent help you, that would be great too. Because I think this is a nice thing that you could print out and put on your refrigerator at home to see, well, when are those foods in season? Because when they're in season, well, they're going to taste better because they're going to come from a more local area versus coming from Mexico and coming from California and Guatemala. And they're going to cost less money.
So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to find some of my favorite fruits and my favorite vegetables. So one of my favorite vegetables is carrots, okay? And I'm going to come to where it says carrots, and I'm going to look to see where there's this black line. And that black line tells me what month it grows in. If I go up, I'm going to see, oh, June, and look, it keeps going all the way to November. So that means carrots grow in New Jersey from June all the way to November, that I can eat them.
Hey, everybody. I just want to share with you what you're going to be doing with this activity after you've now seen my video. So we're going to go into this chart a little more, the seasonality chart, and how to use it. Notice the chart goes from April to December. It does not include January, February, or March. And that's because there's really not that many foods growing in abundance, meaning a lot of them during those winter months. Yes, we have some, and we saw our winter markets that we definitely can grow in the winter, just not as much as we do during these other growing seasons. And what you're really going to do is kind of work with this page. So on this page, I put maybe there's like 13, 14 different foods that grow in New Jersey. And what I want you to do is I want you to use this chart to figure out how to move them to the correct season. So I'm going to actually do strawberries. If I come back to strawberries and I find strawberries, here's that little black line. That means strawberries are growing between May and June. Well, when I go back to this chart, May and June, spring and summer. And I'm going to pick spring because they are typically early June. So I would just click on the strawberries and I would drag it over and put it in the spring box. And then you would do it with the remaining foods. We have spinach, we have blueberries, apples, carrots, celery, grapes, cherries, cucumbers, tomatoes, pumpkins, sweet corn, cauliflower, broccoli, and lettuce. And by the time you're done, this whole chart will be filled in with all these different foods. Now, December, January, and February, there's not going to be too many things that go in here. I did put oranges. Now, oranges don't grow in New Jersey. They grow in Florida. I showed you that at the grocery store. They also grow in California and lots of other places. But December and January is the best time of year for our citrus foods. This is when they're in season right now, so the price is less and they taste a lot better. They're really sweet and juicy this time of year. So I encourage you to pick some of those up. But see what else. I mean, you can definitely put spinach in the winter. I showed you that that's growing right now here at our farm. If there's something that goes in more than one season, if you guys want to get crazy, you can copy and paste, these images, make a duplicate of it, and you can put them in more than one box. Because some of these foods, I mean, they grow for a long period of time. Like apples grow from July all the way to December. But do what you want, whatever's easiest for you. I just thought you guys would have a fun time kind of seeing when all these foods are able to be in season, tasting better, costing less. So enjoy.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson on eating in the seasons, and maybe you learned a little bit about when these different foods are in season. But I wanted to finish because we just had Thanksgiving and now the holidays are coming up, and a lot of times we have special traditions about foods that we eat this time of year. And I just wanted to point out a couple foods on this chart. And the first one I wanted you to look at was cranberries. So I know for my Thanksgiving dinner with my turkey, we always have cranberry sauce. And cranberry sauce, actually cranberries are something that grow in New Jersey. And New Jersey is one of the largest producers of cranberries. But if I find cranberries on my chart, if you look there, you'll see, wow, the cranberries are in season in October and November. So exactly when Thanksgiving dinner is going on. So it kind of goes back to the olden days where, you know, we saw the picture of the grocery store at the beginning. They're only going to get foods that are close by. So cranberries are something that grow close by. So we would use them in our Thanksgiving dinner. And another thing that's probably on your table at the holidays is going to be pumpkin pie. So when is pumpkin in season? So pumpkin is a squash. So I'm going to find right here where it says squash. And when I look over, there's different squashes that grow all year round. So there's zucchini and green squash and yellow squash in the summer, but all the way over here, there's like this yellow line. Those are winter squashes. Pumpkin is a type of winter squash. And pumpkin's usually ready to harvest in October, having, you know, just around Halloween. So that's why that food is a traditional holiday food in November, because those pumpkins are in season. And also the winter squashes like pumpkin, they last a long time and they can be stored inside a nice cool area for a while. I hope you guys had a good time today. I wish you the best for a very happy holiday season. I'll be thinking of you, and stay safe and stay healthy and make sure you eat those fruits and vegetables. I'll see you guys in the new year. Take care.